Prisoners used scissors to cut a slit in the floor of the train. Then, when the train entered a switch track, they used the massive noise as cover to remove a metal plate from the carriage. The guards on the roof didn't notice anything. Next, they inserted the removed metal plate into the floor gap. Through the joint efforts of several people, they successfully pried open a large hole in the floor. But at this moment, the train was moving very fast. Even if they escaped from here, they would certainly be killed by the fall. So now was not the time to escape. Only when the train was about to enter the station and the speed came down could they continue their action. Jimmy took the lead and gave everyone a demonstration. He crawled out of the hole. His body slid along the tracks for a distance, then released his hands and landed smoothly. Next, everyone followed Jimmy's method and successfully escaped from the train, safely landing on the ground. Then, finding the right moment, they rolled out from under the train. But they didn't immediately flee. Instead, when the guards weren't paying attention, they climbed back onto the train. Because this train was transporting prisoners of war, and each carriage had a soldier guarding it. Next, Jimmy and his group prepared to rescue all 500 prisoners of war on the train, under extremely dangerous conditions. Fortunately, these soldiers were very focused, keeping their eyes on the front carriage the whole time and never looking back. This gave Jimmy a good opportunity for a sneak attack. He quietly climbed behind the soldier and strangled him unconscious with a rope. Then he changed into the soldier's uniform, disguising himself as a guard. Seeing this, his companion quickly climbed onto the roof. He was ready to use the same method, to replace the guard in the front carriage. But at this time, the train had already reached the station and soon stopped. His companion had no choice but to quickly retreat and temporarily halt the action. Since it was nighttime, Jimmy wasn't recognized by the other guards. To avoid suspicion, he could only climb down from the train and rest with them. The observant Jimmy noticed that the guards were all resting on the same side of the train, so he quickly had his companion hiding under the train go to the other side of the train and open the last carriage, releasing the prisoners of war inside. In an instant, they had dozens more helpers. His companion led the group onto the roof, then divided them into groups of 2, and at the right moment, they jumped off the train simultaneously, easily subduing the unprepared guards. By the time the officer on the train reacted, Jimmy and his companion had already rushed up with guns. But before they had time to celebrate, they discovered another train approaching from behind.